Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. However you're listening to my voice, I appreciate it. This has been a big few weeks in wrestling. I'm having trouble catching up. I gotta be honest with you. I've watched New Japan a little bit. I've watched AEW a little bit. I have not watched Raw yet, and it is 8:30 on a Tuesday. What am I doing? Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for AEW Dynasty, the first ever AEW Dynasty. They're expanding their pay-per-views. I don't know if that's the best thing to do. I guess people like the pay-per-views better than they do the weekly programming at this point, so it might be good. You have Dynasty, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, always a good one, All In, All Out a week later, Wrestle Dream a few weeks after that, or a month after that, Full Gear, and then World's End. It used to only be a 4 pay-per-view model, but now it's expanded. I remember when Forbidden Door got added, and then of course All In, Wrestle Dream, and now look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, doubling their pay-per-view model, and I like it. I don't like Battle of the Belts. I think that was ridiculous. I don't think that their heart is in promoting Battle of the Belts. It's like an extra hour of Rampage after Collision, making it a third hour of Collision. And the concept is great. Like a big marquee match on Saturday. I mean, look at boxing, look at UFC. You can really do a lot with it, especially if you have 5 hours of programming going into it, but they don't seem to do it. They just show a little graphic. People compare this to Clash of the Champions, but Clash of the Champions really did feel like you were watching a pay-per-view or a low-level pay-per-view every time it was on, So I feel I don't want to call it like a WCW Clash of the Champions. It's not even like, remember when they did WWF Main Event like in the 80s, but then they tried to bring it back and they had like Matt Hardy versus Evander Holyfield. I think like even that would be a fun thing to do, like mix it up a little bit, do some stuff you wouldn't usually do, and promote the pay-per-views. But I'm not here to talk about Battle of the Belts and how much I don't like it. I'm here to talk about Dynasty, and this card looks amazing. Let's run down this card. I'm going to give you my prediction. Let me know your predictions either on Twitter or in the YouTube comments, or just find my number somehow and call me and let me know. I'll be at work. You can just ring me up and be like, hello. Hey, I think Julia Hart's going to beat Willow Nightingale. I don't know how I would react, but let's move forward. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. This match is, meant for the hardcore fans. The whole show is, and I'm excited about it. This is the style of match that you kind of come to see and come to know in AEW. Two guys that consider themselves the best, wrestling to, I guess, just show us that they're the best. I don't know who. I think Will Ospreay has the nod over Bryan Danielson within the last 5 or 6 years, but there was a time where Bryan Danielson was clearly the best wrestler in the world. But I think it will be Will Ospreay, and I think that Bryan Danielson says he's looking to retire soon, and Will Ospreay just came in, so I think they're going to give Will Ospreay the win here. The Young Bucks versus FTR for the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championship. This is a ladder match. So, FTR won in London. This is a ladder match, so some shenanigans are going to take place, and I think that the Young Bucks are going to get the victory here. It's pretty interesting looking back at, I think it was Revolution, the March show that I attended. The Young Bucks lost, and then FTR lost to Blackpool Combat Club, and now here they are, a month and a half later, and they're wrestling for the World Championship. That's just something I find interesting. Julia Hart versus Willow Nightingale. I would give Willow this title. I mean, why not? House rules match. Willow is definitely more over, and I think you can do a little bit more with Willow. Julia Hart, she's okay, I guess, but I think she's a great valet, a great spooky valet to hang out with House of Black. She's, pairs perfectly with them. What are these big tough guys doing with this little girl? Oh shit, she blows mist. That's why they're hanging out with this spooky bitch. So that's kind of cool. But the TBS Championship, I don't think they ever really knew what to do with the TBS title. When it was on Jade, it was just on Jade for years. Then they put it on Chris Statlander. They really didn't know what to do with it. Then they quickly put it on Julia Hart, a rare hot shotting of the title, in my opinion, in AEW. And ever since then, yeah, they've been giving Julia Hart a lot of wins, but I just don't really see, as they say, she does not pass the airport test. Willow Nightingale, I would say traditionally would not pass the airport test, so to speak, but she's so bubbly, her personality just sells it, and she's also kind of powerful in the ring with those with the pump handle power bomb and things like that. So I would change the title and put it on Willow. Then we have Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe versus the House of Black. So I would let the House of Black win. I always lean toward actual factions rather than like ragtag groups of guys. And then you can tease a little tension with. You can have, I think Adam Copeland and Eddie would be a good feud to have down the line. I think they both can go on the mic, and they both like to tell a story more so than move. So I think they would be good feud down the line. So you can maybe tease that. And I think you got to keep House of Black strong. Of course, we want the Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black match to kind of peak this feud, but you can still put some seeds in there for maybe an Eddie Kingston, Adam Copeland down the line. I'm just literally brainstorming, talking with my heart, not my head. This is not news. This is not spoilers. This is just me having a good time reading this card. I'm getting excited about this card, and nothing gets me more excited than Timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Luther versus Thunder Rosa. This match has more story than they are really putting out there. I mean, I guess I haven't seen every video package and haven't watched all the content, but Thunder Rosa never lost this world title. Toni Storm, when she was, regular Toni Storm, not Timeless Toni Storm, won the title that Thunder Rosa never lost. She had to step away through, I think it was like some sort of injury or mental health check or something. I'm not sure. And then she became this Timeless Toni Storm, won the title back, and now Thunder Rosa there. So I think this match is going to be great with Mariah May and Luther being on the looming overhead and everything. And I also think it's going to be just a good match because these two ladies can both go, in my opinion. So I mean, I wouldn't take the title off of Timeless Toni Storm, don't get me wrong, but I do think that they are missing an opportunity really selling this title shot on this show. Then we have Okada versus Pac for the AEW Continental Championship. This is going to steal the show. I think Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, the world title match is not going to be as good as Pac versus Okada. So you have honestly, you have two matches here where you could say that either four of these guys are the best in the world. I think Pac is extremely underrated, and Okada really needs a match to sink his teeth into, man. It's been so long. It's been like a month now. We've been seeing Okada. They gave him the title. They've given him a few matches. He's been involved in some six-mans, but let's get that Okada banger. Start out slow, build up, end with him winning or losing, but him crying in the ring. Let's see it. Let's see this shit. Bring it on. And then we have Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly for the International Championship. I think this is going to be a good match. They have a lot of story to tell, and I think they're going to tell it in the coming weeks here. I don't think I would put the title on Kyle just yet. I would do something where they screw Kyle over, so then Kyle can really get pissed at them, like, hey, you said you were my friends, and now you're screwing me over. And they say, well, we were your friends until you try to come after our title. And I think there can be some good storyline there, but I think they're going to keep the title on Roderick Strong. So right now we have Will Ospreay, the Young Bucks, Willow Nightingale, House of Black, Timeless Toni Storm, Okada, and Roderick Strong. So there's only one title change, and I do think there's going to be another. I think Samoa Joe is going to lose the title to Swerve Strickland. He's definitely more over. I do think, Joe is great as a champion, but Joe is really tied into this world title feud that really didn't go anywhere with the masks and the devil, and Adam Cole's out, MJF's out. Like, looking back at 2023, the majority of AEW television was Adam Cole and MJF, and now both those guys are nowhere to be found. I really think that hurt the show, but it is how it is. The Undisputed Kingdom is kind of like not a joke, but they're definitely, they're not in the world title picture in my eyes at all by any means. So I think you should just really let go of all that stuff. And unfortunately, Joe's title reign was tied into that a little bit in my eyes. And if you put it on Swerve Strickland, yes, he was in NXT for a long time, SmackDown for a cup of coffee. He was in the Indies for about 5 or 6 years prior to that. But I really do think that in the public perception, Swerve became a bigger star leaving WWE and coming to AEW. Became a bigger star being able to showcase who he actually is, which is something you need to sell as a concept for AEW. Samoa Joe, of course he'd been in TNA, second ever Ring of Honor champion, had like a 2-year title reign, wrestled in WWE, had a match with Brock Lesnar and things like that. I don't think he's as big of a star now. He feels like someone who was a star and it came to AEW, and then they put the title on him, which is the perception that a lot of people have for AEW, that, guys just come over there when they're ready to retire, or up-and-comers come over there to pretty much do a style that they can't do in WWE. So I would try to get the public perception on, if you come to AEW, you can be yourself and you can become a bigger star. So this, obviously I'm putting a lot on this match here, trying to shift public perception with just one title win. But I do think he can do that to some degree. And I think Swerve can go. And I think that, Swerve will hold this world championship and be in music videos, will be on his podcast, will be on other people's podcasts, will be in other people's music videos. So the reach that you will get with Swerve as a champion might be a little bigger of a reach than Samoa Joe is. And I think they're telling a great story here. You can still do a match with Joe and Swerve, but I think you put the title on Shane Strickland, and then you have Hangman Page come back. And the blood feud of 2023 is now the blood feud for the World Championship in 2024. That's just me, obviously my heart, not my head. I'm not giving you guys any spoilers. I'm just having a good time, fantasy booking. I think fantasy booking has gotten a bad rap. It's just something I really enjoy doing. If they don't do what I think they're going to do, it doesn't bug me to the extent maybe it bugs other people. And I still, want to watch the show and see if it's good. But I think that's it. I'm excited for Dynamite. I'm excited for Dynasty. I'm excited for Raw. I haven't even seen Raw yet, like I've been saying on a Tuesday morning like this. But fly high, I'm out. I'll check y'all later.